Hi, how are you? I hope you are doing well. I'm back to talk about State Administrative Tribunal. In this video about my experience within this jurisdiction. My experience with the State Administrative Tribunal started in June 2023. It was related to a case that I had against the Medical Board of Australia. Prior to starting proceeding within the State Administrative Tribunal, I have had some years of friction with Medical Board of Australia due to some concerning issues within the Medical Board, most prominently the corrupt conduct of Medical Board in covering up for misconduct of some health practitioners, doctors who are connected to big GP networks and are connected to some of the influential sectors within the industry, primary healthcare industry. I will talk about this case in the future in more detail and the grave situation of this case, which is now still continuing to higher jurisdictions. But this case started by Medical Board after some years of friction and after being a very loud and public critic of Medical Board and this corrupt arrangement within the Medical Board. Medical Board finally in late 2022 and early 2023, they with coordination with my second employers, namely Jagadish Krishnan and Vishnu Gopalan, they started to fabricate huge body of false accusations in order to suspend my registration and also attack my reputation in the community and incur a decisive harm to technically shut me down with a very preposterous allegations, serious allegations that I'll talk about it later. They didn't have any evidentiary material for those allegations. The allegations was only, even I was keep asking them that give me evidentiary material or even send the material to police or other part of justice system, because I knew that was a very coordinated act of fabricating evidence and attacking a public critic. Then I appealed the suspension through State Administrative Tribunal or SAT. Here the matter was a very contentious matter due to a very unusual nature of the case. There were serious allegations against me that they accused me of being sexually inappropriate towards a nurse and also towards patient, and many other allegations, even allegations of me being an ISIS member, allegations of me being an ISIS member, allegations of me being an ISIS member. Allegation of me having Medicare fraud. There were variety of allegations. Main allegation was allegation of sexual misconduct, very serious allegations. There were no evidentiary material for it. There were no statement. There were no supporting proof. That's the way, that dirty way that Medical Board of this country unfortunately operates, at least under Dr. Ann Tonkin, the previous chair of Medical Board, who since 2016 until 2025. This person has been chair of medical board for 9 years and technically made medical board one of the most corrupt agencies of this country. I don't know under the new administration what would be the situation, but what Dr. Antakin did with this important regulator is horrendous, actually. Technically, yes. Then here, a formidable judge, the Honorable Justice Pritchard, was presiding over the matter. Her Honor, when it started the case, Her Honor asked the very important question that why you actually suspended this person, and if you suspended this person, why you are not releasing the evidentiary documentation of accusation to even tribunal. That was the funny thing about it, that the matter was on the purview of tribunal, but the evidentiary material was not even released to tribunal, like not to me, not to tribunal. They said that no, we are investigating, we cannot release it, but the person should be suspended without any, because they were fabricating and there were discrepancies between their like narratives, and there were lots of dirty stuff going on behind the scene, and they couldn't release it because I also started to issue my legal notices, and then some of the people that were coordinating or hidden cooperation with them, they were like withdrawing from these unlawful activities and offenses, and then everything was very complicated for them. Yes, then, long story short, at some point, they didn't have any evidential material for those allegations, especially those serious allegations of being sexually inappropriate towards a patient and towards a nurse. They withdraw those allegations in September 23. Then the main body of allegation was gone through the tribunal, and that was because having a very skillful, smart, and righteous judge was not allowing for the matter for a regulator to abuse the power, because Her Honor wanted them to give the evidentiary material for suspending a life of a person and for accusing a person of those grave allegations. However, for some reason, unfortunately, the final trial was allocated to Justice Tuttle, and he was the judge for the final trial. And before he releases the judgment, there were a change in president of tribunal too, so tribunal situation became a bit chaotic, and Justice Tuttle acted very corruptly in this case, and the judgment that he delivered not only resurfaced those withdrawn allegations, but also had lots of errors and fabrications and technically unbelievable. It was an unbelievable judgment to be able to keep my suspension and keep those allegations still going on against me. Looking at the judgment, there are many technical points about it. Now I'm appealing the judgment. Many of them may be a bit complex to understand through a short explanation through this video, but I just pay your attention to the most grave things that this judge has done. Like one of the 43 ground of appeal is the fabrication of text of the law by this judge. The mentioned point, the grave act of fabrication by Justice Tuttle, relates to some part of my statements. I'm going to read this part for you and then explain it, and then also there would be I'll add some uh, picture of these parts to the like video. Then you could actually see the differences and the way that manipulation of evidence that happened by this judge in this case. In some part of his judgment against me, Justice Tuttle relied on or quoted like part of the a judgment, previous judgment that was issued somehow related to this matter. Some of the discussion was the same, like some common discussion between two matters. It was issued on delivered on 19th of May 2023, before judgment of Justice Tuttle that was delivered on 14th of August 2024, more than a year and some months. He quoted some part of this judgment, paragraph 39 of this judgment. This is the paragraph 39 of this judgment that I highlighted. You will see the that this exact part of this part of paragraph. You will see it on the screen. I will put it in the video when I edit the video. This paragraph reads, the following order are contained in the plaintiff's minutes. I was actually requesting some orders against the medical board in another proceeding. To restrain APRA to continue with its illegal retaliatory actions against the plaintiff because of him criticizing them for numerous obvious serious misconduct and corrupt acts of some of its officers over the past 3 years in relation to the various matters impacting the first applicant and his patients, including the comprehensive complaint that the first respondent. Here, the respondent, as you see here, the respondent was a typographic error. It should be applicant, but when you read it through the sentence, you would deduce that it meant to be applicant. But that's a text of law, technically. The first respondent lodged on 25th 10 2021 that the subject of video number 6, that it is in their history of record that I discussed it with public, that there was a letter that was sent to officials about pattern of misconduct and concern about this pattern in medical board. To the offices of Federal Attorney, then Federal Attorney General, State Attorney General, then State and Federal Health Ministers, as well as Federal Parliament member for Brand. And in the judgment, when Justice Tuttle was delivering judgment, this is technically, let me explain, this is called case law. Like when there is a judgment being delivered by a judge, especially in common law system, that Australia is actually, justice system jurisprudence in Australia is following is a common law system. This is part of the law. It means that this judgment will remain in the as part of the general law, and this is the text of law. Justice Tuttle purportedly quoted some part of the law in his judgment. This respondent that you see, the word respondent here, that would refer to me, in the judgment, as you can see on the screen, in the judgment of Justice Tuttle, was changed by board, like technically medical board, to convey the meaning that it was medical board that was complaining against me since 2021. It was not me that complaining about medical board. So it can never be a typographic error, because this is not a random error. This was a change with the aim of changing and twisting the whole concept of the paragraph to presenting the person, me, as a person that was subject to complaint of medical board to the officials, not to reflecting the fact that it was me that I was complaining about pattern of misconduct in medical work to the officials since 2021 that led to retaliatory action and fabrication. That's the dirty job of this Justice Tuttle, the most senior justice of General Division of Supreme Court. That's a big thing. A justice in this position engaged in such a misconduct, that grave misconduct. And I ask from dignified judges of Supreme Court, this shouldn't be tolerated. This is the forgery of text of the law by Justice Tuttle. 2 to 3 days after this judgment, there were publication related. Everything was coordinated. As you can see on the screen, yes. According to this judgment, some media outlet, one of them actually, 7 West Media Company, run by a person that were known as Rupert Murdoch of WA, carry a stock, very a strong hidden relationship with government officials, and he's at the same time one of the huge stakeholders in mining industry. They defamed me with the most serious allegations. That's the way that they work together in a hidden way to eliminate critics or people that criticizing system for shortfalls or things that might damage the public or public health. That was the experience with Justice Tuttle of State Administrative Tribunal. But I was at the same time, I feel honored to have the privilege to litigate before the Honorable Justice Pritchard, and as I said, one of the best judges and exactly a full-fledged commander-in-chief and a true leader for that jurisdiction. I saw that how Her Honor was delivering justice, not only to me, to the community, because I was also observing other matters to increase my knowledge about litigation. I was attending other matters as a member of public, and it was incredible how Her Honor was delivering justice to the people in distress, and I learned a lot. So that was the experience with State Administrative Tribunal, which seemed to be unfortunately now in the hand of unsuitable people. Unfortunately, not anymore in safe hands. Thank you very much. Talk soon.